Hello everybody, welcome back to another episode of Disattractions. We are on episode 6 this time. We are...
part 2, or time 2.
What?
because this is our second time recording it.
Oh, I guess you're right, yeah. We weren't...
6-2 Electric Boogaloo.
Yeah, so this is the first episode that we've had to record twice. The first episode's audio decided to not record at all, and that was my fault. So we're going back and recording it. Doesn't mean we can't come up with any more funnies. That first episode was bad, you know. Our first take was awful, so we need to redo it. How about that?
Yeah, that's... Well, you know, here's the thing. We could one day release the edit with no audio in it. And if you can read lips, there you go. There's an extra episode.
Honestly, you know what? We just gotta. It's to make it accessible. You know.
If you subscribe to our Patreon, you can get access to the no audio.
Dude, we should actually make a Patreon.
I think we should.
We should one day.
Yeah.
All right. So on episode
pledge, I'll give you a little bit of my blood.
Yep. We're gonna sell bathwater.
Yeah.
We're gonna sell Disattractions themed bathwater.
Bready Weddy bathwater.
The Brevin experience.
Oh.
So today you're probably wondering, what the heck are you guys talking about on your 6th episode? It doesn't get any better than what we've started the episode off with. If you've read the title, honestly, everything we've talked about pretty much fits the bill. We're talking about Diary of a Wimpy Kid. Why?
Because.
I don't know.
Because, look, here.
The executives told us to.
Diary of a Wimpy Kid, as you guys know, is one of the 100 greatest pieces of literature, right? It's up there with John Steinbeck. It's up there with George Orwell. Very prophetic for today. It's MLK Jr. Day, and something else is happening today, but we're not going to talk about it on the podcast. So
yeah,
you know,
it's
literature. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, amazing books.
Is literature. It's also cinema. So they did release 2 movies based off of this book series, and those movies are very much in the same crowd as like Francis Ford Coppola's films and Martin Scorsese's filmography. You very much see Roderick Rules like listed in the same breath as Apocalypse Now or Taxi Driver. It's very influential. I would more so put it in the 70s new wave of films like Peter Bogdanovich's The Last Picture Show or Robert Altman's Nashville. I think Diary of a Wimpy Kid, Roderick Rules kind of fits in that sort of... When it came out in 2011, the culture shifted, the culture changed. You could tell that, like, artistically speaking, like, we were in a new millennium, and I think that's it's really profound. And that's why it's kind of crazy we don't have a theme park based off of these movies, you know? Because they're like pieces of art. Because we all know that the Last Picture Show ride at Universal is great, and we should build the Diary of a Wimpy Kid ride right next to it. So,
I watched Diary of a Wimpy Kid at the dentist when I was getting my teeth cleaned. I thought it was pretty good because I read the book. I read the books, and then some kid touched the cheese, and I thought, "Wow, this is amazing."
Were they like?
And I asked them to switch the channel. I'm kidding. But going back to my experience with Diary of a Wimpy Kid, reading the books, I read those in, I want to say, early middle school, like the whole, like maybe 6th to 8th grade span, maybe just getting out of it during the start of high school, because they were books that are really easy digestible, really easy to digest. Trying to think of like a good, I guess they're comfort food. You know what I mean? Yeah. So like your like mac and cheese, it's your, you know, your peanut butter and jelly sandwich. It's very much the solid foods that you really can't go wrong with, and it's really easy to read without having to use your mind a whole bunch.
Yeah. How dare you? It's right up there with Orwell.
Orwell is like caviar. Some people don't like it. Some people absolutely think it's the best thing on the planet Earth. Diary of a Wimpy Kid, everyone's like, yeah, that's pretty good. Consistently across the board.
It's like McDonald's chicken nuggets.
Honestly, yeah.
Yeah.
Like if you give McDonald's chicken nuggets to Gordon Ramsay, he's got to admit, yeah, these are kind of good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And
sure.
if he doesn't say so, Grimace is gonna do something to Gordon Ramsay. You're not gonna see him ever again.
He's gonna grimace.
He's gonna grimace all over Gordon Ramsay. He's gonna grimace his loaded diaper. I want a plushie of Grimace wearing a diaper now.
An exploding diaper.
Yep, as a loaded diaper shirt on Grimace.
Yeah.
Think about that.
I want Mitt Romney to wear a loaded diaper T-shirt with Grimace on it.
Yeah, Mitt Romney ripped
a Momney.
Dude, we gotta make ripped Romney, dude, and he's just jacked. You can make that a shirt. Yeah. I'm voting for ripped Romney.
2028 ripped Momney.
Ripped mommy. All right, so now actually on to why the people are listening today. Yeah. The attraction idea that we have. So to start off our whole themed area, we kind of discussed this the last time we tried to record this episode, but also just in general that it would have to be just a normal neighborhood cul-de-sac or like some sort of like suburbia themed area, because that's really the core themes of Diary of a Wimpy Kid, is just everyday normal suburban life.
Yeah, like you wouldn't want this to be Pandora, the world of Wimpy Kid. Like that wouldn't make any sense.
Yeah, or like, make it like super realistic, kind of like going the movie route and trying to make it look realistic. I still think it should kind of hold that cartoony-esque.
We're just building Minnesota.
Yeah, I've never been there.
Me either.
I mean, there's some places I can think of where I am that kind of look like that.
Yeah. We're just building Portland.
We're building just the United States suburban housing.
People will find it to be escapism in 4 years when our overlords take over.
Yeah, and we're all going to live in huts under the ground. And they're going to be like, oh, remember the days where we used to live in houses above the ground? Crazy. Yeah. It's going to be like the Matrix.
This is so Orwellian, dude.
I know. Orwell was inspired by Jeff Kinney.
Yeah.
Who wrote Diary of a Wimpy Kid, because Orwell actually his most famous quote ever, don't forget never
it's the most famous quote ever.
Don't fall for the cheese touch. That's his his quote for the episode. Loading diaper.
Oh my gosh, that's the social media image. I'm gonna make a picture of George Orwell in a quote. This is don't touch the cheese.
That's his new book coming out. George Well. Honestly, that's a really shorthand way of saying George Orwell. George Well. Dude, that's kind of like, instead of saying Orwellian, just say George Wellen.
George Well. That's like a band name.
We're
the George Wells.
Honestly, exploding diaper.
No, this is kind of like a weird aside, even though this whole entire but it's fine. Oh, Kevin and I pitched a band called The Muffled Sounds of Guerrilla Violence years ago, right? I literally have a guitar back here. I'm currently learning how to play it because I was like, I'm going to make that a reality, like music project reality. Somebody stole the name. It's literally, and it happened after Kevin and I came up with this idea. Okay,
it keeps happening to us. People keep taking our ideas.
I know.
We gotta make it with another band name. We'll get another one. It'll be good.
Let's just do Loaded Diaper 2.
Yep. Diaper Unloaded. That's like the prequel before the diaper got loaded.
Loaded Diaper, the squeakquel.
literally it's a sequel. It's like called Diaper Unloaded, and the tagline is "Before the diaper got loaded."
The squeakquel.
The squeakquel. Okay, we're getting so off track. This is pretty unnormal for us.
Wait.
What?
We have to do an Alvin the Chipmunks episode at some point, right?
That's gonna be later.
Okay.
That's gonna be when we're in the underground huts.
Do you know that they're technically on the no-fly list?
Is that in one of the movies?
Yeah, that's in the canon.
I did not know that.
Is that they're on the no-fly list?
Well, they must have done something. Not trusting no chipmunks.
And technically, according to those movies, Alvin is a fan of Pink Flamingos by John Waters. Do you know anything about that movie?
Nope.
I'll tell you about it after the podcast is over, but it is one of the most explicit movies ever made.
That's funny.
He makes a reference to being a fan in one of the movies, and people are like, "What are you talking about?"
That's crazy.
Yeah. Anyway,
back to Wimpy Kid. So the whole area where it was going to be suburbia, right? You're going in. It's just like a street with like kind of nice trees. It's very nice, very clean. Neighborhood housing, and then kind of probably like a strip mall attached to it in some way or some forth for all the stores and the food experiences. Which is kind of funny because you're probably thinking, who's going to pay $300 a day to go visit a neighborhood? I can go do that in my own house. But anyways, that moves us onto the rides because that's why you're coming here, buddy boy. You're coming here to see Loaded Diaper because we got ourselves a roller coaster for you. Yes, you heard it right on Disattractions, a Loaded Diaper roller coaster.
Heck yeah. You're thinking like, why would I go see Loaded Diaper? I could go babysit my niece. But this is a roller coaster. It's not just a loaded diaper.
I mean, back at my house, my niece built a roller coaster inside the house.
Yeah.
Like my niece is that doesn't make sense, but it's Phineas and Ferb.
Oh. Your niece is Phineas and Ferb.
Yeah, they're both just one conglomerate.
Wow. Okay, there's a joke I wanted to make, but I'm like, no edits. Let's go.
Yeah. No, let's go. We got a streak going.
All right.
So the whole idea, you're like, how does that gonna work? A roller coaster in just a normal house? Like, how is that gonna work? Well, we got you covered. So the whole story. No way I just made that joke psychologically in my head. I said we're doing a roller coaster ride, then I said we've got you covered, and that's like the most quoted line from Rocker Roller Coaster.
Yeah.
You ever noticed that every time you're about to launch, he always says we've got you covered no matter what. Man, my mind's destroyed right now. This place is all over. This podcast is all over the place already. Sorry, everybody. But so the whole idea.
Made a roller coaster.
Yeah.
It goes fast. It goes upside down a few times.
The whole story of the roller coaster is that Roderick is having a house party at his house, his family's house, because their parents are gone on a date night or on a trip, or I don't know. They're doing something. And Roderick's like, "Hey man, come to the house party." And so you show up to the house party, right? You're walking in, the queue is you walking through their house. It kind of looks all trashed, like typically party trash. There's like age appropriate drinks, cans smashed on the floor, or like, red Solo cups with probably Kool-Aid in it. I don't know.
Whoa! I almost dropped my Red Bull.
Yeah, it's the queue is you walking throughout the trashed house, and eventually you get to like Greg, or you probably get to Roderick's room, and all of a sudden out of nowhere it's like Fragley shows up, and they're like, "Who brought Fragley?" And of course Fragley had touched the cheese.
You're like, "Oh, we gotta get out of here."
And so you got to get out of there, and so that's why the roller coaster is there. And the roller coaster, this is really profound, is a metaphor. Like the actual physical track is going to be a metaphor of you booking it throughout the house. So like the track, like on some roller coasters, the track is supposed to symbolize something or something, and this is you just going through the house. And so you're kind of dashing in between the house, the rooms, going down the stairs, causing a racket, and the cheese touch is being transferred to different characters that you know and love from the Diary of a Wimpy Kid universe. And then you go at the end, and right at the end, you book it out the house, and then the parents finally come home, and they're like, "What did you do, Roderick?" And Roderick's sitting there like,
Oh.
I don't know. And then the last person to get the cheese touch is going to walk out, and it's going to be Mitt Romney. And then that's the end of the ride.
Yeah. The Mitt Romney verse is still continuing.
Yeah, we're trying to brute force this thing into existence, as you can probably already tell. We are trying to push hard for the Romney verse.
Yeah.
Like,
He's
your mitts ready for the Romney verse.
Get your mitts ready.
The last episode we're gonna do is the Mitt Romney ride. That's the last one we're ever gonna do. We're gonna be like 90 years old. We're gonna be sitting on wheelchairs in year 2090 or whatever. Like.
You think the world's gonna survive that long?
If Mitt Romney,
true.
If Mitt Romney comes in, he's like, "Hey, stop.
Yeah.
We're gonna be good." He's just gonna say that, and it's gonna fix everything.
He's gonna bring world peace to all of us.
Yeah.
Because you know what they say. Mormons, they know what's going on.
Is that said by George Orwell as well?
Mm-hmm.
George Orwell. Don't touch the cheese, and the Mormons know what's going on.
George Orwell. I trust
George Well.
Quotations. I trust Mitt Romney because he is a Mormon.
Nice.
George Orwell.
You gotta do the like. Just not even George Orwell. It's gotta have a shirt that says George Well. Don't touch the cheese. And then have a still from Animal Farm in the corner or something.
Oh man.
So that's the roller coaster. We had that. That's a pretty solid idea of kind of what we thought of for an idea. Again, this roller coaster, I wouldn't really think it'd be too intense. What's your opinion on the roller coaster, Brett?
My opinion on the roller coaster. I told you 0 to 60 launch. Maybe we can make it a 0 to 40.
Okay.
2 exploding diaper. Right when you go exploding diaper, you go 0 to 80. You know what?
Faster than Velocicoaster?
Yeah.
0 to 90, baby.
Your eyes will be at the back of your head. You're going so fast.
Meanwhile, you're spinning 360 as you launch. It's supposed to. You have to wear like a suit and tie. And like, this is supposed to symbolize your diaper exploding.
Yes.
As you're going.
You will actually catch on fire.
We blast you with a flamethrower right at the start. Yeah. The employees douse you in gasoline before you go. You just get set on fire. We are not responsible for any damages.
Yeah, nothing. Nothing.
But yeah, so that's the whole idea of the roller coaster. We don't have a name. Actually, we have a name for it. Oh, what was it? I had it. What was the name of that roller coaster? It was called like Loaded Diaper Blast or something like that. Like
Loaded Diaper, get your blast.
Loaded. That's a niche reference. Golly. Loaded Diaper Blast. I think that's probably what we're gonna name that thing. And people are gonna be like, "What does that mean?" Because if they have no idea what Dire Wimpy Kid is, and they're walking to a ride called Loaded Diaper Blast, I think they're kind of worried what's about to happen. But it's part of the experience.
Oh, right outside the ride is a Taco Bell.
Yep. Oh, and the restraints. So for when you're getting on the ride and you're sitting in the ride vehicle, which I think should be kind of little like, I don't even know how you would do a ride vehicle for being inside a house. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
no idea.
I think it'd be cool if like, even if it was just outside the house, you had the loaded diaper van, so you could have like screen or like photo moments, photo ops.
Since it's like kind of chaotic, anyways, I guess you could just drive a van through the house and have the trains be vans.
Yeah, I guess to do the loaded diaper van.
Yeah, it's like, get into my van, and you're like, what?
Get into my van, we're getting out of here. Honestly, that's not very the movie, but that's very the book.
Yeah,
maybe.
And then like once you get to the very end, you can hear the mom be like, Roderick, did you drive your van through my house? He's like, sorry, Mom.
Uh-oh.
I'm sorry, women.
You should commit 25 traffic violations.
Roderick, did you just murder someone in my house with your van?
Did you just commit reckless endangerment in my house?
Yeah, brother.
Oh my gosh. Did you run over the dog? It's like,
Did you run over Manny?
what?
Let's gonna get that.
What just happened, dude?
I meant to say, you just run over Manny.
Ploopy moment.
Ploopy.
Make America ploopy again.
Stop. Well, we were discussing last episode if ploopy was a slur or not. What are your guys' thoughts? Comment below. Is ploopy a slur?
I think ploopy is to be ploopy. To be ploopy or not to be? What do you think?
I don't even know if I'm allowed to say it.
I'm a ploopster myself.
Okay.
I ploop on a daily basis.
You give me the ploop pass?
Oh, I'll give you the ploop pass. It's not that hard.
Ploop pass.
You can be an official plooper.
Sweet. Okay.
I want to make an Instagram page called official ploop, the official ploopster.
That's when people go, Brett, you need to stop making Instagram pages.
Literally. This is okay. We had intervention. Okay, it's gone too far, Brett. You had 5. That's okay. You had your different likabilities, but the official ploopster where you kept posting photos of Manny next to Mitt Romney. That's enough. I'm not following that.
Oh man.
But we're all real ploopies. If you are a real ploopy, you'll know.
Yeah.
Just put in the comments. Say you're an official ploopy to join the ploopy group. We do meetings
Hashtag
every Friday.
Poopy gang. Ploopy gang.
Dude, we don't talk about poopy gang. That's a different. We don't associate with the poopy gang. Like it's on site with us. Like they're like those are the ops. You're straight up ploop, not. Gone too far on this again.
I just heard Mitt Romney. He was going all ploopy again. I don't know, man.
He's a plooper. He joined the ploops. He joined he joined the ploopy gang. When he was going for office, he wasn't Democrat or Republican. He was part of the ploopy party. Like
yeah. He had to run under Republican Party, but really it's the ploops.
No, he said it was a diversion. He was really aligned with the ploopies. But
that's why he was never a Trump guy. You know, he was like, "Well, Trump's not a ploopy. I'm a
yeah.
ploopy."
Yeah. I don't even know what we're going on about. That was like gone on for like 20 minutes. Not 20 minutes. It's like 10 minutes. Oh, I want to say 5 or 6 minutes. But moving on to anything else you want to say about the loaded diaper blast that we haven't?
Yeah. So, in the origins of the Ploopy Party, was started and founded in the 1970s by a man named Richard Ploopy.
Excuse me, Manny Ploopy.
No,
Manny made Ploop. We pray to Manny.
No, Richard did. Richard made Ploopy.
What?
Richard Ploopy. Manny is erasing Richard's good name.
Oh my gosh.
Because Manny's a domestic terrorist. I don't have anything else to say about the ride.
Do you have any proof about that? Is there proof in the ride?
Yeah, look it up online. Or look up Richard Ploopy on Google.
I'm not doing that. I'm not looking at the search history. I don't. Some stuff might come up. But anything actually really serious to talk about the this is really weird. This weird sentence. Is there anything super serious you have to say about loaded diaper blast?
I think we discussed this before, but like aesthetically speaking, for the entire area, I'm looking at something that kind of feels like you stepped into Greg's diary. Mm-hmm. And so I think kind of a black and white like notebook design type of attraction would be a lot of fun, especially a roller coaster. That's kind of how I see it in my head.
Yeah, it's a very unique thing you don't see very much because a lot of different places have a lot of color, have a lot of different.
Or they're just in dark. Like, Disney's like, man, we have an idea for a roller coaster.
Oh, let's put
build it in the dark.
Yeah, I think it'd be very interesting if it was in this house environment. Yeah. I think it'd be really cool. And the next ride we only wrapped up Loaded Diaper Blast. We're going to talk about the ride that's Meant for the smaller ones because Diver Wimpy Kid was kind of split up in between the tweens and the younger audiences as well. So you have both there. You have a younger audience and older audience. The
Yeah.
roller coaster is obviously meant for that older audience and for adults as well, which is really funny to say. But we have a dark ride that we're going to be adding into the park as well. That is meant for more little kids. Can't say words today. I'm sorry about that. And just for a calmer attraction, because that's what we kind of do. We always do like a more big ticket attraction, and then we always kind of follow it up with a chiller attraction. At least that's what we're kind of our MO has been. And so the idea on this one is that you thematically, even before you enter the park, or as you are entering the park, you're kind of being transported into Greg's diary, kind of what Brett said. But in this ride, you're going to the secret part of Greg's diary where all his like secrets, like his secrets are, I guess. You have those diaries that you have that have like the locks on it for like a personal secret diary. So it's kind of that section of it where maybe he's written down some of the bad things he's done. So like maybe it's like stealing something small from the store.
Yeah.
Like
or not voting for Mitt Romney.
Or like stealing the Declaration of Independence.
Yeah.
Or like or anything like very tiny, or like stealing stuff from the cookie. I keep saying stealing. I don't know why I'm thinking Greg would just steal all the time.
Yeah. I lied to my mom.
Yeah, I lied to my mom. I actually,
I'm gay.
Yeah. I mean, that could be. I mean, you never know nowadays. You have just a whole bunch of secrets in there that, and Greg's like, "Oh no, you're not supposed to be here. Let's get you out." And so you're kind of like Greg's trying to force you out. I don't know if your goal is to try to stay in there longer to find out more of his secrets, or you just kind of stumbled there and you're trying to get out, I guess. Yeah. I guess that's kind of the idea of it. And so you're just going through all these different events with Greg, and maybe he has to relive those traumatic moments in there, and you could see like the different like animatronics like doing different. Maybe he's in, or maybe it could also not only be secrets that he's just also embarrassing moments for him. You know what I mean? Like maybe he was trying to do a presentation and he got up to the front of the classroom and he just could not present because he was so nervous, or like very traumatic early traumatic things from, even if they're minor.
Yeah.
Maybe he got lost at the store when he was young and he couldn't find his, like anything like that. Something that was like deep down where he doesn't want to share because he's embarrassed about it. Stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And so by the end of the ride, he kind of realizes that, wow, I shouldn't be bottling up all these emotions and keeping them in here. I should I should talk to those who love me, or kind of bring a positive message out of the ride that can be used to help maybe younger, even just adults too, because adults do this the same as much as kids, is hide those parts about us that we're embarrassed about and not embrace them half the time. And then you put up your own, this is getting really, really deep, but like a lot of us, I feel like, put up faces in front of each other because we're so embarrassed to be our true selves around each other. Yeah. And so it's kind of talking about that and saying, well, you shouldn't keep everything locked up behind lock and key. When, I mean, there's some things you want to keep to yourself, but like, you shouldn't be just telling everyone that you stole the Declaration of Independence, or like,
or you didn't vote for Mitt Romney.
Or you didn't know, if you didn't vote for Mitt Romney, you can't be a ploopy. So like, you're out of the ploop club.
Yeah, I don't know about that, man. It's
but so it's not only a ride where like it's very much the theme and on theme. I also think it could be one of the first rides we talked about now where it actually has a kind of a message to be pulled out of it, about how we should focus on trying to be ourselves the most and not have to hide who we are to act like in front of other people, no matter about what other people think. Stuff like that. Yeah. Anything you want to say on that, Brett?
Ploopy. No, sorry, I'm not.
We're just gonna leave that to Ploopy.
I feel like for me, I anticipate this being a dark ride similarly to like, what I picture in my head is like the Winnie the Pooh ride. You know how like there's like a bunch of pages and words you like kind of go through and see different stories and situations play out through a picture book type of thing. Cute animatronics, of the characters, and yeah,
I think that's pretty much it. I think it'd be, again, I think it's all that kind of black and white theme there. Mm-hmm. I have a weird issue of making the whole entire area black and white because I feel like that'd get stale.
Unless you did it correctly. I don't. Well, that's
Different shades of black and white I can
Maybe.
like do.
I just feel like it would be striking in a way.
It would be. I would say it's a really cool idea. I just think of everything being black and white would mesh together
Yeah.
really easily. If they did their outlining right and did all their shading correctly, I think it could work. But it could, if it's not pulled off right, I think it could be a mess.
Yeah, for
But
sure.
if it is pulled off perfectly right, then I think it'd be really cool.
We'll pull it off perfectly right because it's our.
Because Mitt Romney is going to help us. He's he talked to Jeff Kinney. We're working with him. We're actually building this park right now. We're building it in Goobertown, Arkansas. That's what we're.
Goobertown, Arkansas.
You ever heard about Goobertown?
No.
Oh, you should search up the location of Goobertown.
All right.
It's an actual place.
All right.
Those who know who Goobertown is or where Goobertown is, you're a real one. You're a real ploopy for that one. Ploopy Town.
You're part of the ploops.
I got the ploops straight up.
Man, I got the ploop. It was embarrassing to admit to my doctor. But I got the ploop.
I got straight plooped on. Grimace plooped on me. I got a shirt that I went to get a shirt that says Grimace plooped on me. Or like certified member of the Grimace Ploop meetup.
Certified lover boy ploop.
Certified member of the Mitt Grimace committee.
Do you remember at the beginning of World War II when
Yeah, I was alive during that.
yeah, remember Grimace and Mitt Romney sucker punched each other in the face, and then there was a like there was a kind of that sound, and like there was a radioactive wave of shock that like went through the nation for a moment. Everyone was like, "Whoa, what were you when the Grimace Mitt Romney shock happened?" All right.
Why was this during World War II? That's my question.
I don't know. It just kind of happened.
I didn't learn this in history. I think my education system failed me.
Yes, because of the agenda.
Oh,
of history teachers, they want to cover this up.
They want to cover. Oh, why? Oh my
so
gosh, this is a conspiracy.
It goes, pew, all right, and one man named Richard went, "Man, that sounds a lot like Ploop." And then he went,
the Ploop of 42.
The Ploop of 40.
Okay, kids, who are listening to this right now, you have to go to your history teachers and ask why are they covering up the Ploop of 42. If you don't do this right now,
yeah, come on, please.
Like they're covering it up.
Save the nation by bringing up the Ploop of 42.
It's like the Tiananmen Square massacre. China wants to cover it up. For the U.S., it's the Ploop of 42. Like it's the same thing, you know. Like. Sooner or later, we're gonna end up with Mitt Romney and Grimace fan art at the end of the day. Or somehow that's gonna be a thing. We're gonna pull out and be like, there's gonna be a ship, like a Wattpad, like whole entire fan fiction of the Ploop of 42, and actually how it was like a romantic bond between Grimace and Mitt Romney.
Yeah. Wow.
And a book's gonna be written called Ploop.
Ploop. The Ploopening. Very good. I'm very excited.
Those are the two rides we have. We have gone over plooped enough. I think we've over plooped. I think we should move.
For the two people still listening to this, thank you so much for your patience.
Yeah, it's just. I mean, yeah. And for those who actually don't know what ploop is, because I never explained this, because we just didn't explain this. If you have no idea what Diary of a Wimpy Kid is, Manny is the little kid in the book, right? And in one, it's like a one line. It's a 1-page line where Greg is like, yeah, and Manny started making his own curse words, and one of them is ploopy. That's where that comes from. It's from 1 page in the first book. I forget it's the first or second, but it's the first or second book where Manny just says ploopy, and that's it. So I'm sorry that we did not explain that. Let's revert back and explain ploop. I had to.
We explained the cultural significance of why it became a curse word.
No, we're not staying on this any more than we have to. We're moving on. We're moving on to the food because we wrapped up our 2 rides ideas that we had. If you have any better ideas for any rides or any sort of attractions at the Diary of a Wimpy Kid themed area, let us know. Again, these our ideas were It's so stupid. It's just we kind of got overboard with the ploop, and so I hopefully you guys understood our ideas and we were able to communicate that effectively. Which we have that to review again. We got that roller coaster called Loaded Diaper Blast, which is that 0 to 60, 0 to 40, whatever, that where you're gonna go visit Broderick's house for his party that he's holding, and then all of a sudden while you're chilling at the party, Fregley shows up with the cheese touch, which Fregley is a character that touches cheese that's moldy, and it's called the cheese touch, and you can pass that along to people. It's like almost like a cooties type thing in the book. I need to start explaining a lot more to viewers who don't know what's in the books or what's in the medium we're talking about. So that's what that is. Moving on to food. We have 2 locations, and to be honest, the food locations in the book, there's some that are prominent, but there's honestly not a lot of time spent with food locations. But Brett, do you want to? You were saying something.
So, in The Ugly Truth, the lore of Diary of a Wimpy Kid, there is a burger called the Monstrilla Burger. It's a huge burger, and it's kind of like a contest to see who can eat this burger. So we could bring the Monstrilla Burger into the world and make it be a contest. Kevin and I talked about the last episode how there isn't really a food contest in theme parks. That's not really a thing, so we could bring that there. I think that would be fun. I mean, the issue is it's also hot and you walk a lot, so there'd be throw up with a lot of food. But like, whatever, that didn't stop people from ordering appetizer samplers at Animal Kingdom's Rainforest Cafe. So why would it stop them eating a giant burger? You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So I think that's a fun idea. Honestly, I think a lot of this food is going to be Americana. That just makes the most sense. I don't really think you're going to be serving Mexican or Chinese food in the Diary of a Wimpy Kid area.
I don't think they're serving Thai either. I don't think they're serving. I think it's very Americana food. Yeah. I think it's also just like kind of like comfort food. I think that's really what you're serving here, because it's potatoes. Like French fries, burgers, hot dogs, just mac and cheese, like grilled cheese sandwiches, like very much that standard American food that we all love and hate at the same time because they upset our stomachs, but absolutely love to eat them.
Yeah. I will say pizza makes sense.
We've said that the last 3 times.
Yeah.
we said pizza makes sense. Pizza makes sense. Pizza makes sense.
It just does.
Pizza works for everything, apparently.
We should make a shirt. One of our first shirts for the podcast for merch. Just say pizza makes sense.
Yeah, pizza makes sense. I want the Plupa 42.
42 and the Mitt Romney verse.
Yeah.
You see, we had to re-record this episode just for the Plupa 42.
Watch this one not record audio. I know it is, but
we just the third time we go on, we're like, so we're talking about the Plupa 42 today. We're not talking
about guys, we've been hushed to silence about the Plupa 42, so we're finally getting it out.
What if, like, next episode we're like, so look, Disattractions is going to have a little bit of a facelift. We're no longer talking about imaginary theme park rides. We're talking about the Plupa 42.
And only the Plupa 42.
Around it.
That's the only thing we're talking about for the entire podcast.
For the entire podcast.
Like, all 50 episodes are on the same Plupa 42 topic.
There's just so much to talk about. We're also going to interview people who were there at the Plupa 42.
All right, here I have with me Mitt Romney. They're like, oh yeah, I was there. Grimace? It was Grimace. Dolly Parton. Working night to Ploop. Working. Okay, I'm done. We're done with this. We're done with this. Another food location. We're done with the Plupa 42, I promise. Last time. Moving another location that we've kind of come up with is Corny's. So I think Corny's is either in the first. I think it's in the first book, first or second. It is just a standard food joint that's themed to corn. I think that's interesting enough. But also they have this gimmick where just for some reason ties are like not allowed in there. I don't know why. I don't remember if there's any lore explaining why. there's just no ties allowed in there, so they'll literally cut your tie
Yeah.
off if you have it on. And I think it'd just be funny if there was like a whole and the tie got stamped to the wall of shame or whatever.
You
I think
can
it'd be
buy
funny if you had a
ties at the gift shop that you can specifically wear there, so they get to cut them off. But,
yeah. I think that could be that'd be such a capitalism thing where you buy it just to get ruined. Like oh my
Yeah.
gosh, but yeah, it's just like goofy. But yeah, I think I just when you have a wall of shame and then just thematically have just normal American food, I think would be fine. I don't think you have to go extra crazy with the Corny's menu. I think you don't really gonna have to go too off track with that. And honestly, I think those are the only really two food locations we have. Um,
Yeah.
is there anything else you want to put input on for any food locations? Don't say it. Don't say it.
Pizza.
Okay, no, that's fine. You
Yeah.
want to elaborate on the pizza? That was the other P word. Don't say the other P word.
I feel again. I just kind of feel like there's a lot of pizza under our Wimpy Kid, and that is a recurring thing. Something that I think something that we talked about was we kind of wanted a room in the park where you could just kind of like get away from the chaos. Kind of like we think a lot of theme parks should have rooms, especially for kids who get overstimulated too easily, and just everyone to kind of calm down and relax. I feel like that would be a nice place for like pizza, like Domino's type pizza. There's like video games, calm down area, kind of like called Greg's Chill Corner, and I think that would be very nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or like Greg's Stress Station or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Something like that. But we talked about this on the first run of the recording, and I think it's honestly, I kind of got really passionate about it out of nowhere because there's this new wave in the theme park business where every single bit of a park needs to be constant e-ticket attraction. And again, I have my problems with that because at that point it's just too crazy and there's no place to actually sit down and enjoy a theme park because I think a theme park should maybe 40 to 50% be rides.
Mm-hmm.
Like you should not every single thing you do in the park be a ride because at that point it's not a theme park, it's just an amusement park. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
To only get amusement. What makes a theme park different is that it immerses you in a world, so you have quiet areas, you have smaller rides, you don't always have these e-ticket attractions. I mean, to just even directly relate that. I mean, they're for right now, they're taking out as we know right now. Don't get mad at me. They're taking out Muppet Vision, and they're going to be replacing it with a whole entire e-ticket world with an e-ticket attraction, which that whole park was a rest zone at Hollywood Studios.
Yeah.
Because of how nice that was. Pizza Rizzo's, you go in there. Pizza just makes sense. But Pizza Rizzo's, you go in there and it's relaxing. I sat in the disco room at Pizza Rizzo's and disassociated for like 20 minutes because of how chill that area is. Like there are places and reasons to have chill zones. And I think that theme parks nowadays are kind of thinking that they can get the most bang out of their buck if they have the most e-tickets, but then forget to realize that a theme park is more than just intense or like more big-scaled rides. And maybe that's just a personal gripe with me, and maybe that's something that I'm faulty for, but that's just something I'm passionate about because I think the theme park business in that way is starting to value capacity rather than an experience.
Make theme parks calm again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think honestly that's my take on it. That's my 2 cents on the whole entire situation. And so like a Greg's Cool Down Station or a Greg's Stress Station would be really cool because you have that area where kids who can't, or kids or even adults, because sometimes I can't handle a lot like big, like very stressful environments or packed environments.
I am a child, so
I think it'd be definitely in place for and very helpful for those who have parents or who have kids who struggle with very loud areas or very stressful areas because I've been that kid when I was younger, so just having that place to calm down is very helpful. But yeah, that's my whole tangent on that. Sorry for taking up that much time, but that's something I'm passionate about, I guess.
I think it's something that we need to incorporate in here, especially since this is a scholastic park.
Mm-hmm.
It's about childhood and growth and development, and I feel like that is definitely something that would help.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like Sesame Street having an area like that, which it does,
mm-hmm.
and it should. Yeah.
And that's why the Muppets kind of existed. And usually you have those areas in parks that have that.
Yeah.
And just slowly and slowly they're not. Because like Magic Kingdom, I can't really hardly think of too many places right now that aren't completely packed a lot of the time. You have those smaller places like Great Moments with Mr. Lincoln. You have like areas where I guess not Great Moments, it's the Hall of Presidents over there. My mind's on Disneyland right now, but you have those areas where you have that, but you sometimes you don't in a lot of different places, because like I'm trying to think of Epcot's pretty big, and you have like if you go into the deeper Canadian Pavilion and actually watch the Circle Visions, those are pretty calm. You have those calm areas still a little bit, but they're slowly taken away more and more.
You know what Charles M. Plupi always said? We need calm.
Yep.
Yeah.
George Orwell said that too. He said Disney is going to not incorporate calming areas in their parks. So that's actually what 1984 was about. It was forewarning us about that.
Yeah.
And so
1984. One day Disney will get rid of Muppet Vision and then acquire people.
And then in his sequel 1942, he's just going to talk about the We're done with that bit. We can't continue this bit, Brett. We can't make the next podcast, guys. We're just going to make the Ploopy podcast. You guys ready for that? The PP podcast.
Can we please do a bonus episode where we talk for an hour about the Ploop 42?
Honestly, we could, though. We could do a bit. Wait, it's April. April's episode. April, the Ploop 42.
And people will be like, what is this?
No, exactly.
Please go back and watch our Diary of a Wimpy Kid episode.
I think we have to do the whole thing, and then for our dedicated listeners who listen to the end of that, they're like, please watch this until you can make sense.
Exactly.
And those are we're not even talking about merch right now because we talked about the Greg's Cool Down Station. But moving on to merch, because merch is honestly a pretty big section here for us, because there's a lot of stuff you're able to buy. Before I forget, though, I wanted to go back to Greg's Cool Down Station because you mentioned Scholastic. I think it'd just be fun if there was a permanent Scholastic book fair somewhere. That'd be pretty fun.
Love that idea, actually.
And I think that'd be, and it's just a way bigger permanent Scholastic book fair because that just gives calming environments.
But since it's a theme park, everything's like twice as expensive as it'd be in the school. They're like, you want an eraser for $6.99?
Yep.
Dogman books are going to be $13.50.
Excited for the Dogman movie?
I actually am.
I keep getting ads for it.
It looks dope. I'm not gonna lie. Look, I love the Dave Peakley. I think he's great. I think the Captain Underpants books are great. I think the movie's actually pretty underrated.
I liked it. It was pretty fun.
Yeah, So, we've established, Lord, that Kevin and I both worked at Disney.
Mm-hmm.
And I was very much like a Disney kid apologist with the animated movies. Disney animated movies are getting lamer and lamer as we speak.
I agree.
And all of a sudden, DreamWorks is like, oh, so we can be the cool guys right now.
Mm-hmm.
And so all of a sudden, you get Puss in Boots: The Last Wish, which is like maybe the best animated movie of the last 10 years. And then this year we had The Wild Robot, which was like a masterpiece. And so it's like, I'm kind of down for DreamWorks actually making cool, intelligent, animated kids movies. Not that Dogman's going to be intelligent, but it looks like a ton of fun. And the thing I like about like its distinct art style is it looks different. Like every single Disney movie looks exactly the same, and Dogman looks like a weird, vibrant Saturday morning cartoon.
It looks like the book. Like it just looks like the cover of the books. Like pretty standard. You know what? This is related because it's the same vein as Diary of a Wimpy Kid. Dogman, Captain Underpants, it's that same type of channel of book. And so I think it's really cool. And I thought it looks really cute because I love movies that are like that because it looks animated really well.
Pitching it right here. We should do a Dogman world.
I haven't read Dogman. I haven't either. I've read Captain Underpants a little bit here and there, but I haven't read Dogman.
I'll read Dogman for the podcast.
Yeah. It looks easy to read. Honestly,
honestly, like I feel like I could blow through it in like an hour.
Yeah.
Yeah. If even.
Mm-hmm. So. And so going on to merch, since we're gonna move on to the merch again.
Yeah.
The first merch that I came up with was you have to have an ability to buy the cheese.
Yes.
Right? Like buy the cheese, the moldy cheese, get the cheese touch. And I was just saying coasters. I think coasters would be kind of fun.
Like Sorry, I feel like the cheese should be like a prank thing. It's like a whoopee cushion, but it's like, oh, don't touch the moldy cheese. It's not actually moldy cheese. It's a plush or whatever.
Right.
Yeah, I think it's cute.
Yeah. I was thinking it could be just different objects. You could like get like dirty cheese bookmarks. Oh, that's
Yeah.
kind of cute. Wait, you have bookmarks for the cheese touch so that people won't touch your book. That's crazy.
Yeah, you guys can't read 1984, so I need to keep my cheese touch bookmark in here because I'm reading the truth about the Plupa 42.
Yeah, I'm reading my copy of 1942 right now. I just got on the Plupa 40. Dude, I just got read like the second we're on the hold on. We're on the 850 plus 20 like 85th anniversary of the Plupa 42.
Yeah,
85th. I was like, I'm doing math in my head. I'm not very good. I'm like,
I'm reading my copy of this right next to the Bible. We can learn from both of them.
oh, we didn't even talk about this yet.
Oh,
Another idea that we had for merch is Joshy merch. We did not talk about Joshy yet.
and you know what's funny? We talked so much about Josh.
Yeah, we
last episode. We talked so much about Josh. You made fun of my clothes. You made fun of Josh. We're done.
We're done. Don't come over to my house. But
Yeah.
Joshy. So if you guys don't know who Joshy is I want to say a play off of like a standard boy band in the book. Except it's only a one-man band. So I guess it's like a Justin Bieber-esque character. And Rowley is in love with Joshy. And so Joshy merch is necessary. As well as Loaded Diaper merch. You know, because those are both kind of musical artists. Like, you have the Loaded Diaper shirt. You can get a diaper that says Loaded Diaper.
Yeah.
But anything else you want to add to that?
I mean, so we also discovered since the last episode they did make an entire Loaded Diaper album.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, we
Loaded Diaper. And so you can
It's self-titled.
You could be able to buy that on vinyl. For sure. Fans also like Brian Quinn from Impractical Jokers. I guess he writes music too.
What does that have to do with Loaded Diaper?
I don't know. It's in the fans also like on Spotify.
Oh, that's funny.
He also released a song called "Can You Smell Us Now?" That's not on the album. It's a single.
Interesting.
So you can buy that single as well. So hey, you know. And then we should make a whole new original soundtrack for the roller coaster outside of Exploding Diaper, and you can sell that as well.
Yeah, I think it should be like a Cosmic Rewind-esque thing where you can get different songs.
Yeah.
But it always starts with the Exploding Diaper every time.
Run, run, rocket! Santa's gotta come into town.
And then there's like a 2% chance where you get like ploop ploop ploopy.
Oh, 42.
This is so stupid. And then you mentioned I'm Sorry Women hats
Yes,
for merch as well.
those exist, and we need to sell them. That's all I have to say about that.
Yep. It makes sense. And then we got to get we have to sell all the books in the store, and they could also be in the Scholastic Book Fair area as well.
Yeah.
But books are a necessity. If they're selling their own, it has to be. It's going to be an upcharge, obviously. It's going to be like $30 a book. But it's like you need to sell those, as well as this was your idea, and of course we're going back to it. A Manny plush, when you press it, it says Ploopy.
Yeah. So this is actually something that we pitched. It really is last episode, but yeah, very
The episode, not last episode, but the recording.
Yeah, the recording of the last episode. We talked about, we have a little Manny figurine, and you push it, and it goes Ploopy, and then you push it, and then he tells you his conspiracy theories.
It's like don't forget the Plupa 42 randomly. It's like a 2% chance every time you click it. It just says that, and you're like,
Oh,
what does that mean? Yep. And then this was kind of my idea for the merch shop in general that is holding all of this merch, is that it would be run by Rowley out of his garage because he's trying to get enough money to go to the next Joshy concert. I think that's just kind of funny. And so you can go in his garage. It's like a garage sale.
There's a cardboard cutout of Mitt Romney you can buy.
No, Mitt Romney works there. We hired him.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, we got his Perner number. For those who don't know, a Perner number is a number that Disney uses for employee identification. That's really all that is.
His number's like ROM069.
We gotta sell official Mitt Romney coffee.
Yeah. This will kick you awake, much like our U.S. economic system.
I plooped in 42.
I plooped.
And that's all the merch that we have. But honestly, it was quite extensive. And again, you can have the basic, like, Diver Wimpy Kid shirts. You can have, like, I have the Cheese Touch shirts. All your basic, normal, like, I don't know who buys this crap stuff at the theme park.
You know,
What?
Whoa. You know those shirts with the stick figures and it says "I pooped today."
I plooped today.
I plooped today.
Nice. Nice.
We have to make that.
Oh, the only thing we didn't mention in this episode or in last recording and in this one,
What?
Zooey Mama.
Oh, of course.
We didn't mention that at all.
That's my other favorite Dark Book.
Zooey Mama merch, but you're able to fill in the different joke bubbles.
Yeah.
So, like, on your shirt, so you can write in Sharpie or whatever on the shirt to fill out your own joke.
Zooey Mama was the OG Bazinga.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Zooey, except it's more funny than Bazinga.
It is. It is. Zooey Mama's a crazy thing to say after.
Now on to the events that we have for the Dire Wimpy Kid Park. We have around 4 different events, or 3 actually, with the cool down station that we talked about earlier in the events category. Number 1 is a Joshy concert.
Yeah.
That kind of makes sense.
Dance party.
Oh, sorry, a Joshy dance party.
Because, you know, we can't go without a dance party in these episodes.
Yeah, because Brett's favorite thing in the entire theme parks are dance parties.
It's not. I think it's cringe. I really think it's a cringy trend, but I'm going to continue to pitch them. So.
We're going to be talking about Mitt Romney. It's a Mitt Romney dance party. Nice song impression.
I kind of like the show Ted Lasso. That's the Mitt Romney song.
And then on the same vein as that, the Loaded Diaper concert, and you could have a collab where you can have the Loaded Joshy concert experience.
Exploding Joshy.
Then he explodes on stage.
Oh.
He just blows up.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty standard. I think the meet and greets as well, because meet and greets are kind of like a normal thing in any single theme park. That's like something you have to do. And this is what we discussed about last time, is how would we really do that with the cartoon characters? Because you wouldn't obviously have real live actors playing a live like the live action version of these characters. And so, and you wouldn't really do the thing where they're normal like people and then they just have a mask on their face. I feel like that'd be creepy.
I think that it would just be like full character costumes, much like Mickey Mouse. But with the characters, like original animated drawings, it might be a little like memeable, but like that might be the fun of it too.
They could also all be black and white to fit this, and that could really, the more you push into it, the more it's going to make sense.
They look like those weird mascots that are holding like "we can wash your car" signs outside of a dealership. Like
those are scary.
Yeah, that's the vibe I
get. And those are the events. Oh, and also Brett decided he wanted to pitch a 3-hour drone show. Explain.
So I never agreed to this, but I will continue the bit. So it's Exploding Diaper Drone Show.
Oh,
it starts,
diaper drones.
and Roderick strums on the guitar, and it goes Exploding Diaper, and like all the drones explode, and then after that, in the sky just spells out Zooey Mama. And that's the show.
3 hours because it takes them
takes
that
so
long to get the drones up there.
Yes. It takes that long for the drones to explode.
Oh, I see what you
They
mean.
go one by one and they all detonate every 5 minutes from each other, so you're just standing there.
And you're not allowed to leave
No.
until it's over.
Mom, it's 4 a.m. Why are we
We're halfway there, honey. Don't worry about it. But every time it explodes, they say, exploding diaper. When that explodes, and then it goes quiet. And people start chatting. It's like, and then 5 minutes later, explode. The next drone.
People start chatting like, quiet.
Yeah, quiet.
You're watching a show.
Exploding diaper.
Oh, gosh.
And that is literally everything that we have talked about that we have here.
I feel like every episode we go, this is the craziest episode yet.
Yeah.
But this...
They're just going to keep going and going and going until it gets more crazy and crazy.
I will put this on a resume for work one day, though. Like, they'll be like, please show us some of your experience. I'm like, have you heard of the Plupa 42? Like,
You're wearing the shirt to the interview.
We're hiring you. You can now do videography for our church.
We are hiring based off that criteria.
Yeah.
So to review, all the rides we have are there's a roller coaster that's called the Loaded Diaper Blast that you are going into Roderick's house party that he's invited you to, and at the house party while you're in queue, Fregley brings in the cheese touch to the residents, and you have to run away from the cheese touch as it's being passed around to different people in the house. And eventually you kind of leave the house, and the parents come back home. It's like, Roderick, what did you do? And then that's the end of that. And then the dark ride is going into Greg's secret part of his diaries and kind of learning a bit more about his embarrassments and his insecurities and trying to learn how maybe he needs to talk with those that love him and, and just realize that some things are meant to be embraced. For food, we have the Monstrilla Burger, which can be its own place where it's like the Monstrilla Burger is specifically at Dan's Diner, which is in the books. So you can have Dan's Diner that serves the Monstrilla Burgers, which other different types of burgers and like very fast foody type, stuff. And then you have Corny's, which is again that other location where it serves different corn meals. Haha, funny. Corn space meals.
Yes.
Where you can get your tie cut off because they don't allow that and put on the wall of shame.
Yes.
For all the merch is going to be through Rowley's garage sale where he's trying to get enough money to go to the next Joshy concert, and you can buy the Cheese Touch cheese. You can buy Joshy merch. You can buy I'm Sorry Women hats. You can buy Loaded Diaper merch. You can buy the books there. You can buy Loaded Diaper albums. You can buy the Manny Poopy plush. Ploopy plush. That's a weird thing. Manny Ploopy plush. Manny Ploopy plush. That's really funny to say. And then, and that's all the merch. Events, we got the Joshy concert, the Loaded Diaper concert, the Loaded Joshy concert, and then your meet and greets. So, out of all of this, what would you give your probabilities in respect to the land or the ride? Or the area?
The Wimpy Kid area opened up, a roller coaster. Not to that extent. I don't think they would spend that much money, but I'll give it like maybe a 4. Sure. The dark ride is a little more plausible. Still probably a stretch, but a little more plausible. I'll give it like a 5. The Thai restaurant thing probably won't happen. Probably give it like a 2. But like the area with like American food or whatever that we pitched, I would guess like a 7. The shop with the books and everything, that's like a 10. That's kind of a given. The drone show's a 0.
What are you talking about? That's the 110 in the list.
The War of Ploopy's a 10 because it happened.
Don't let them say it didn't. If your teacher is telling you right now, you're just learning. That's misinformation online. No, it's not.
And then the shows. The Joshy dance party is probably like a 3. The meet and greets with the characters that's a solid bet. That's like a 9. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's same honestly for me. The roller coaster out, and it would almost be a 2 or a 3, and a Diary of Wimpy Kid Park. There's no way. Dark Ride, I'd see more of it, so I'd probably say a 4 for that. The Monstrilla Burger at Dan's Diner and the American Food, I'd probably say the challenge wouldn't be there, but the American Food would definitely probably be at a
Yeah.
Diary of Wimpy Kid theme park. So I'd say 7 or 8. For the merch, all that's a 10 pretty much. That just has to be a thing. The only thing that's probably iffy is the Manny Ploopy plush, because that's just funny to say. Is a little that's a little too specific, but I don't know. The events, I think the loaded diaper concert's a 10. I think that's probably would definitely be a thing. Joshy, I don't know. It might be a little too niche. And the meet and greets would be a 9. But everything else other than that, I think would be pretty solid.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you'd like to kind of go back and review? Anything you wanted to say?
Other
That's
than the fact
serious.
that, like, yeah, this is like literally the craziest episode that I think we might ever do.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm not gonna put that out there.
I kind of want to go back and just. I want to talk about Jeff Kinney and his books kind of a little bit more. So the source material, because again, I really this is a very jokey episode. This is very funny. It's his humor. The reason why it's so jokey is because his humor is really good. Like I think the books are great.
Yeah.
I think that the humor is so stupid, but it's intentionally stupid. It's supposed to be that way, and you can tell just by reading it. It's that way. It's written well because it's. If it just was stupid humor like Dumb and Dumber stupid, I can't handle Dumb and Dumber. But like, you get to this point where it's like, in the books, obviously the main character is Greg, who is this tween teenager where he's kind of learning his world and transitioning into the teenage world and where he fits in, and he has those typical high school beginning problems like I want to be cool, I don't want to hang out with the nerdy kids, all this stuff. But it's done. That story's been done a lot, but what makes this so unique during the time was that it was done in this almost graphic novel setting, which was very interesting because it's not fully graphic novel or comic book. It's that there's still good chunks of text to follow with images, and so the flow in between reading words and looking at images is just so seamless that when you're reading it, you can just read the whole thing and not realize you read the whole book. Like it's really fast and it's really well made. So if you actually have not read any of the books and you actually are curious about any of it, I will really suggest giving it a read. They're not too expensive. I mean, if you buy a paperback, I'm sure it's less than $10. They're not too expensive, and they're really good reads. And again, like I know if you're an adult and you're reading it, you're like, why am I reading this? I would honestly still read it over again. They're just fun, goofy reads. Like, I just say give it a try. I really do suggest that you should. I just wanted to kind of give credits to Jeff Kinney because I think he did a really good job with his work, and he's still doing it to this day. He has quite a bit of books still releasing.
Yeah, absolutely, which is
impressive.
very good. I mean, like, look, I think honestly, the dream as an artist is to be able to work for yourself. And look, obviously, he works for Scholastic, but like at the same time, it's like he gets to make his own little characters in these stories and stuff, and that's like. I love that. Like, I'm jealous about it a little bit. I'm not gonna lie. It's pretty cool. Like, I admire Jeff Kinney a lot as an artist, and I think a thing that really does make those books still continue to be such a success 20 years later is the fact that they are relatable to every kid, and they are speaking into the experience of being a kid. And the nice thing about being a kid is we've all been one, you know. And that's kind of why they resonate with everyone.
Actually, I was born 20 years old.
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, I mean, but that is the thing. Like, it is something why I think that more elevated and more introspective content for kids is so necessary. Because, like, for me, like, I wanted to become a filmmaker because of Pixar. Like, this is my shirt right now, and like those films really spoke to me at a young age, and it made me be like, I want to tell stories like that. And like that, you know, now it's like I go see the 3.5 hour Brutalist and I love it, but like obviously when I'm 8, I'm not going to go see the Brutalist. You know what I mean? You need that branching point of like these important stories, and I think that smart, independently minded family entertainment is so important to keep the market alive. And there's not a better example of it than in the Dire Wimpy Kid series. So I very much admire his work.
I remember always reading it, and I mean in school or whatever, and people will always be reading their own different books. But teachers kind of always look down on the Dire Wimpy Kid books as not real literature because I mean again it's its own thing. But I always remember when I was reading it, it always wasn't a real book. Like it wasn't just a normal standard chapter book. You
You
know
need to
what I
get off
mean?
your high horse. It's fine.
What?
My opinion, you get off your high horse. You're
Yeah,
fine.
literally. I think
So-
it's I think what makes it so engaging for kids is kind of what you said is that Jeff Kinney at least I don't know his age or anything, but even at the time of writing his books, he models the teenage experience really well,
yeah.
like
It's-
really well.
There's always been a stigma against comic books and the fact that we can't consider comic books literature, which is so stupid, because some graphic novels are just as dense and as complex as literature. I mean, like, go read Watchmen. That's a dense book. It's going to take you a bit to get through. Believe me, it's going to take you a bit to get through. It is a dense book full of information. The Mouse Saga.
Yeah, I mean I've read Mouse before, and that's dense too. Like
Yeah, and
a lot of,
that literally won the Pulitzer. I think it was.
I know it won a lot of awards, and that's a really good read. But there's a place for graphic novels, and I know that like Dire Wimpy Kid isn't the same lane, same avenue as Mouse. They're like kind of neighborhoods next to each other.
Yes,
But that doesn't mean that Dire Wimpy Kid is anything less,
Well,
because it's just different.
one of my favorite graphic novels of all time is Craig Thompson's Blankets, which is an excellent read. And that's like an entire graphic novel about questioning the structure of religion, you know? It's just like, it's dense, but it's a comic. So it's one of these things where it's people like to judge one thing and be like, I know exactly what this is without actually doing any sort of research or proper instruction on it. And it's just like, just get off your high horse. Look, do I think people should also read books? Of course, I'm a big advocate for reading, but graphic novels are also books. So there you go. That's.
I kind of wanted to end near that topic so that it wasn't like there is some substance to this podcast other than saying the word ploopy. But you know, it's there is something to it. And again, the podcast was not focused on this at all. This was just a separate side tangent that I wanted to go on to.
Absolutely.
But I will leave you guys off with one little final remark, and I hope you agree with this statement. Don't forget the Plupa 42.
Yes. Oh, say.
Thank you guys so much for watching the podcast. It really means that you've taken the time again to listen to our stupid ramblings here on the internet. This is our 6th episode in, which feels almost a little unreal because I feel like we haven't been doing it for very long. But then we have 6 episodes. That's bi-weekly. That's quite a bit of time.
3 months.
Yeah, so it's been quite a road, and honestly, I've been loving every single second of it.
Yeah, this is fun. It's a good time.
Yeah, and so follow us on Instagram. Please comment and rate us what you'd like to rate. Just getting any sort of rating that's in there at all. I don't want to be a sellout, but at the same time, it really helps us getting pushed in algorithms and stuff so that more people can listen to what our podcast who may be interested. And let us know your ideas for anything you want to add to the Dire Wimpy Kid land, or if you want to do any other theme park ideas.
If we hit 10K subscribers on YouTube by the end of this year, I will do a podcast episode shirtless.
Thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.